For what a game of football that was, can you just sum it up for us in your own words?
Classic FA Cup. We used before the game a Tyson Fury and Wilder analogy. You know, that we'd experienced Torquay on Saturday, and now this was the second fight, if you like. And you know, we felt we deserved something from the Saturday game, and we felt that we could match, especially at home, you know, most of what Torquay had. To go 1-0 up, and we absolutely dominated for 39 minutes. What the corner count was, I don't know, but it was up towards 17, 18, I think. You know, the keeper's done well. I think kept him in it at times, and then you know your whole world turns around on 40 minutes and 42 when you know two fantastic bits of play from them individually. Armani Little slid the ball, you know, good strike from the lad. But the second cross, you know, for the second goal, the cross has come in, and again it's a high level cross, good quality. Again, the lad's got a cross as a striker should do. So 2-1 down at half time, felt obviously undeserved. But what I said to the players again was, you know, Fury knocked Wilder down in the third round, so that was us 1-0 up. But then Wilder knocked him down twice in round 4. That's them 2-1 up, and that's the analogy we used. I said Fury then went on to win round 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 before he finished. And Bairdy said as well, you know, next goal wins it. You know, we felt if we got the goal, we'd have the momentum with us, and that's how, you know, that's how it's proved. And it's, you know, it's a memorable cup night. You don't get this opportunity very often. I've got to be honest, when the draw first came out, we were very, very disappointed because we couldn't have gone to, or drawn, in our opinion, a harder team away from home. So to do what we did Saturday and then get them back here and play as well as we did is a testament, all just to the players. I thought the players were magnificent.
This is obviously a competition that the club take very seriously. A man I can see behind you, Sean Gale, was in attendance tonight. What does it do for the fans? What does it do for the club financially and on the pitch as well?
Yeah, I'm really glad you referenced Sean because, you know, he's a bit of a, well, he is, I think he's, and rightly so, he's a legend of the football club. It's nice to see Lee Bradbury here tonight as well. You know, both really wanting us to win, supporting us, and that means a lot. You know, people that have managed this club before want to come back and see him do well, and that's probably testament to the relationship they have with Derek in particular. But you know, there's the picture behind you with him with Rafa Benitez, and those days just don't come along very often. And for us to be able to go to Charlton, which was an ex-Premiership club, it couldn't be much of a better draw for us, to be honest. You know, we have a fantastic turnout from our supporters. They were all screaming at me. They've already booked the hotel and the trains and the coaches, so we know we'll have a big support up there. But today, you know, today is about the players, and the Charlton game is about the players. They deserve now to go out and give it their best at Charlton. And I'm just so pleased for them because people don't see how hard they work all week to try and get a result. And football doesn't always go for you. You know, sometimes you work your socks off and you play terribly. But I also feel the bond. You know, I sensed since the lockdown we've been able to start doing everything that we wanted to do at this club, and it was such a blow to us to not get into our community the last 15 months. To see all the kids here again tonight, brilliant. You know, and they're all screaming and shouting my name, and you know, just wanting us to do well. So really proud of the club, proud of what we're doing off the pitch. You know, got some fantastic members of staff off the pitch. You know, that work their socks off here and care a lot about the football club. And that, you know, that helps. It helps going to Charlton. Financially, it's going to be a great day out for the club as well. That helps. You know, and there's little things when you've got a little bit more money, then perhaps you can keep members of staff that perhaps you might not have been able to keep, and maybe add a player to the squad that you might not have been able to do. Best competition in the world for non-league clubs. This is because it's the only competition I know where you can pit yourself up against Charlton in 2 weeks' time, and the joy of that for these players is something to behold.
And moving back onto the pitch, there were some real moments of quality that got you into that next round against Charlton. In particular, Jake McCarthy's wonder goal. What was your thoughts on that when that went in?
He's a non-league Frank Lampard, isn't he? You know, that's how we're describing him. He makes such fantastic late runs. He's a very calm finisher. But in fairness to him, I reckon 49 times out of 50 that ends up in the Westley car park. I mean, it was an incredibly technically good strike. If you see it in the Premiership, people would be showing it week in, week out, and it would probably be in for Match of the Day, Goal of the Month. To get that got us back in it at 2-2, and from that point on, as I said, there was, you know, poor tackle. You know, let's call it as it was, a terrible tackle that put them down to 10, and at that point we had the real momentum. And yeah, I mean, it was great for Scott Rendell. You know, he's had to wait the last 3 or 4 weeks to get his moment, so that's great for him. And I thought Wrighty really deserved that goal at the end. You know, twice the keeper denied him in the second half. But that was a nice icing on the cake, really.
And you mentioned Rendell. It was quite fitting. Well, Alex Wall came on. He made quite an impact after coming on.
Yeah, I was disappointed when he
was forced off.
Yeah, when he was forced off with an ankle injury. But Scott Rendell, not only is a great lad, he's a top professional, and all he's done is back the younger players and work. He's actually become, he does all my striking coaching after sessions. Can't speak highly enough of him as a person, but also how he's brought into what the club's about.
And now focusing back on the league, it's important not to get too high on the highs and low on the lows. It's just business as usual at the weekend.
Yeah, listen, I mean, when we had the real cup run at Sutton, I think we started off about 4th or 5th when the run started, and we were 18th, when we got knocked out by Arsenal, and we had to have a group sit down and say we've got to put this right, because we started to hurtle down the table. And unfortunately, your mind, not mine, but the players' minds can get diverted. It's so important, the whole point of the club is to try and get us to be a good National League club at some point. And what we can't do is go and throw away the next 3 games by being absent-minded. So we're in Friday. I think they're all asking if they could have Friday off, and the answer was no. Sounds a little bit wrong, doesn't it? But no. And we've got to come in here Friday and prepare for Slough, who always give us a tough game. Got a very good management team in John and Neil Baker. And Slough, I think, have got 3 or 4 big first team players coming back into their team. So we know that we'll be playing a Slough that's more recognisable. We then get a Hungerford on a Tuesday night, who, again, have defied the odds this season. They, I saw their game against Torquay, fantastic. So we then go to Chelmsford on the Saturday. So it's going to be a busy time, but you get busy if you win games. We've won enough in the FA Cup to now start getting busy, and most of us have found it difficult going week to week. Normally at the start of the season you play 8-9 games in August and then September. So we're going through a busy period now, but one that I think the players must be looking forward to it now.
Perfect, Paul. Thanks very much.